Good morning, my dear JEE warriors. Welcome aboard. This is your Captain Shreyas, and we are going to solve the top 100 questions from all the shifts of January attempts. And this 100 questions for physics, and similarly for chemistry, and then for mathematics. Now, why we are doing this is because you should understand, although we discussed the JEE mains papers, right? We had the discussions, those were based on memory, and sometimes some good questions get left out, and that is usually also the case because a good question, students generally won't remember, and not all the values or the things which were there in the question can be recollected after the examination. So the good thing is the official paper was released by NTA, and we have the provisional key, but obviously many things have to be challenged as well in it. So we're going to discuss all the questions from all the shifts, the top 100 questions, which are very unique, very different. You won't see many repetitions or anything of the model type. So all unique models, that way, that will help you for your April attempt. All right. So I hope you guys are ready for it. Audible, visible, Mary, everyone, let me know quickly in the chat box. And let me also tell you, the link of the PDF will be available in the description box. So after the video is over, in this particular page over here, the link of this particular PDF will be available in the description box as well as in the comments. Now you will not be able to comment because the live is going on. Okay, and let's begin with the class. Harshita, percentage for EC and all that, I will make a separate video. Yes. Watching advanced problem solving definitely will help. You have to watch advanced videos because if you are above that 90 percentile mark, then you have to start pushing yourself towards advanced. You cannot say, I will first think about mains, then I will think about advanced. You should start thinking little bit at least. Okay. So let's begin with the class, and I hope you have smashed the like button. So this is my quick intro. Many of you might not know me. So well, I have done my BTech from NIT Nagpur. I have been training for more than 13 years now for all the kids preparing for JEE, NEET, etc. And yes, I did my research from IIT Bombay. And here I am in front of all of you to make sure that you to reach your milestones and make your dreams into reality, right? So let's begin, guys. And thank you for liking in case you had forgotten. And yeah, subscribe to the channel as well. Let's begin. So there is a bob of certain mass, it's at point O, and there is a light string of certain length, and it is left to perform vertical circular motion as shown in the figure. Initially, by applying some velocity V naught at the bottom, can you see at the bottom, you are applying some speed. So the string becomes slack when the bob reaches at the top. So you have given that minimum speed so that when it reaches here, the speed becomes bare minimum so that the string will just become slack. The ratio of the energy at the points B and C is how much? One thing is absolutely clear, that this particular velocity at the point A, because the string will become slack at the topmost point, that velocity at A, which is basically V naught, should be root of 5GL, and velocity at the top should be just root GL, so that the tension just becomes zero for the string to just become slack. This is at the top, this is at the bottom. Now this will be useful for solving the problem, but before going ahead, remember, when you go from here to find the speed or kinetic energy, I need to find how high does it go. So just drop a perpendicular like this. Just drop a perpendicular like this. If this is L, obviously this much will be L cos 60. This will be L cos 60. So from here to here, this height difference by which it goes up, this is L, this complete thing is L. This much is L cos 60. So it will be L minus L cos of 60, which is basically L minus L by 2, which is basically L by 2. So from here to here, when you go up, the height difference just comes out to be L by 2. Similarly, you will also need the height difference when you go from here to find the speed at this point. Again, drop a perpendicular right over here. Now this is L because that's the hypotenuse and or the radius. This part will be the cos component. So this will be L cos of 60. Now, if this is L cos 60, from here to here, this much is L, this much is L cos 60. So if you had to really go up by this much amount, that would be L plus L cos 60. So that will be L plus L by 2, which is 3 times L by 2. So now just use energy conservation from here to here, and from here to here, most of your job will be done. If you do energy conservation, all right, from A to B, if you apply energy conservation from A to B, here is how it will look. Half m velocity at point A, which is over here, there is no gravitational energy, will be half m vb square. In fact, that is what you have to find. If I'm not wrong, you have to find what is the kinetic energy ratio. So let me just put kinetic energy at B plus mg height. Height is basically L by 2. So from this, kinetic energy at B will be nothing but this minus this. So it will be half m VA. VA is nothing but root 5 GL. So root 5 GL square minus mgl by 2. So that is from A to B. Similarly, you can do from A to completely going towards C. So that will be nothing but half mass into velocity at A square, no gravitational energy. When you reach here, you have some kinetic energy Kc and some potential energy mg. This total height was 3L by 2, was nothing but 3L by 2. So from this, you will get kinetic energy at C equals to this minus this. So half m VA square means half m root 5 GL square minus this entire term, which is 3 by 2 mgl. That's it. So you have KB, you have KC. The last step, of course, in this, the last step, of course, in this will be to take the ratio of this. So take KB and divide it with KC. So when you do that, you will obviously land up with the correct answer, and you will get the answer as 2. You will get the answer as 2. Is that okay? Everybody with me? Is this absolutely clear how to do this particular problem? The calculation part, you will be able to do it, I believe. Yep. Sir, fluid mechanics, have you made any one shot? Well, I had made the one shot long time back. You can just search on the channel. You will definitely get it. Yeah. Guru, you can definitely get it. Just search it on our channel itself. Just put it over here, fluids. You will get it. But if you want problem solving session exclusively, maybe I have not done it separately. But over the period of time, because we'll be doing more of advanced classes, we will definitely find it after some time. Okay, we'll be doing some advanced question solving as well. Okay, so that was this question. Let's move on to the next one coming up on your screen. Just 1 second, guys. Okay. Next, there is a small ball of mass m and it is dropped in a long vertical tube containing some liquid. The speed of the ball becomes constant. That means it has achieved terminal velocity. That's what it means. If it becomes constant, what does it mean? It has achieved terminal velocity. Okay. If the density is half the density of the ball of the liquid, so viscous force will be how much? Okay, so the logic behind this particular question, what I would suggest is, let's say this is our particular ball. This is our particular ball. There will be multiple forces acting on it. One will be its own weight. Then next will be buoyant force. Okay, next will be buoyant force. And of course, you will also have the viscous force. All these three forces will be there. So the weight will be something. Then you have the buoyant force. And then you obviously have the force of viscosity. And that is exactly what you have to find. What is the force of viscosity? And keep in mind, because the velocity is constant, velocity is constant, that means it is not accelerating. So acceleration is 0. Therefore, I can say that the net force acting on it will be 0. And because the net force is 0, the viscous force plus the buoyant force acting upwards should be balanced by the weight. Therefore, the viscous force will be weight minus the buoyant force. Now, what is the weight? Well, weight is nothing but mass of the body into acceleration due to gravity. Mass is density into volume into g. Density into volume into g. Is that right? Similarly, buoyant force on that particular sphere will be volume submerged, density of the fluid into G. Now there is one thing given. The density of glycerin, which is that liquid, is half the density of the solid. So as per the given information, this rho is sigma by 2. Rho is nothing but sigma by 2. Therefore, I will get this expression. The best part is V sigma G. V sigma G is W. So basically, that is W by 2, or I can just say it is mg by 2. So the buoyant force technically is mg by 2. So I can just substitute that over here, and the weight is technically mg only. So mg minus mg by 2 is nothing but mg by 2. So viscous force is mg by 2. That is the correct answer. So this was the tricky part where you had to manipulate it. Weight is mg, density volume g, buoyant force is V rho g, but rho is the density of the solid, which is sigma by 2. But V sigma g is mg or W by 2, I can say. So therefore, buoyant force can be substituted as half the weight. So weight minus half, the weight is half the weight. That is the answer. Is that absolutely clear? Yes. Cengage PCM, is it enough for JEE Advanced? Definitely not enough. Please don't be dependent only on Cengage. Definitely it will not open up your mind for JEE Advanced. You have to depend on some good quality book for JEE Advanced. You have to push yourself beyond Cengage. And PYQs is mandatory. Okay, gaming brothers. And another book which I would suggest is basically the Rank Accelerator book. Yes, use the Rank Accelerator book because that has only advanced specific questions. Okay, it's a collection of 3 books, and there are 2 levels in it, advanced and advanced plus. It comes with detailed solutions and also access to many other content apart from the printed material. You can scan the QR codes and you get a lot of other free content along with it. So I would suggest go with the advanced specific book only if you are seriously preparing for IITJEE Advanced. Next, obtain the given truth table following logic gate which should be placed. Okay, now you have to get this particular truth table and you have to place some logic gate over here. Now this was a very interesting thing which happened here. See, if you notice, this is basically A. Okay, this is basically your A over here. A comes directly. B becomes B bar over here. So this is a AND gate. So it will become A dot means AND, B bar. This will be basically A bar. This B will, sorry, uh, uh, this is also again becoming B bar if I'm not wrong. This is also becoming B bar or tech. Why is it again becoming B bar? Okay, weird. But anyways, this is again A. So this will be also A dot B bar. Now A dot B bar, A dot B bar is coming 2 times unless and until they did a printing mistake in this. But I think they would have done a printing mistake also. Plus there is another problem. Now the output that you want over here, this is A dot B bar, A dot B bar, this particular output 1001. If you notice 00 or 11, similar input is giving high, different input is giving low or false. So this is basically the truth table. How many of you realized this is basically there is a gate called as XOR. So it is the NOT of XOR. It is basically the NOT of XOR. Now, no matter what you put over here, you will not get it. No matter what you put over here, you will not get it. Actually speaking, this should not have been here. This should have been here. Plus, nothing as such will match over here. So even if you try, you are not going to get any gate which you can place over here. So this is exclusive ORs NOT, which is also sometimes called as XNOR gate. So none of them will match. So technically this should have been a bonus if you have seen this particular question in your 22nd Jan shift number 1. Okay, how many of you are there from 22nd Jan shift 1? Let me know. In fact, now we are going to see a series of bonus questions also. Yes, we are going to see continuous bonus questions as well. Okay, next, in the circuit shown here, assuming the threshold voltage of the diode is negligibly small, then the voltage AB is currently represented by. This is the diagram of basically something called as half wave rectifier. Half wave rectifier. That's all this is. So out of the complete input wave that you are going to get, if this is your input wave, either either you will get this and this, or you will get this and this. So either it should be let's say this and this, the bottom ones, or it should be the top ones. So both options could have been correct. Now we do not know whether we have to take A as positive, B as negative. That has not been mentioned absolutely. So technically, both answers should be correct, unless and until they assume something as positive, assume something as negative, then things will be different. Because what will happen during the negative cycle, that means this particular part which I'm talking about. So during this particular negative cycle, the terminal of AC, which will be positive, will be down, this will be negative. So the diode will become forward bias and the voltage will flow through the resistor. That means you will get this downward or the bottom half cycle that will be propagated over there. So that sign convention is important, which was missing in this problem. That makes it little bit ambiguous. So hopefully this will come as bonus, and this question definitely should be challenged. Yes, yes, it is bonus question. Correct. So there is a reason why I have kept all some bonus questions together. This was also another interesting thing. I think this was also a bonus, if I'm not wrong. A physical quantity is related to four observed quantities such that A, B, C, D are given to you. What is the percentage error in Q? Now, for such questions, we know the logic which is used is delta Q by Q is equal to A's power is 1. So 1 into delta A by A plus B's power is 4. So 4 times delta B by B. Next, C's power is 1 only. So 1 into delta C by C plus D's power is 1. So 1 into delta D by D. Now you just need to substitute everything. So A error is 3 out of 60. 3 out of 60. Then 4 into delta B by B means 0.1 divided by 20. Then you have C, which is basically 0.2 divided by 40. And then you have D, which is nothing but 0.1 divided by 50. This is all relatively, but if you want it in percentage, the percentage is asked. So you definitely then multiply by 100. So all this, whatever was there, this was relative. So if you want it in percentage multiplied by 100, you will get it in percentage. So you start cancelling out things and everything like that. So this 0, this 0, this 0, this 0 will cancel. This 3 will go with this 6 two times. Okay, so you have 0.1, 0.1 everywhere. So this 0 will cancel out that points. This 0 will cancel out those points. This 2 will go with this 4 two times and all of that. So do the math and see how much are you basically going to get. How much are you basically going to get? This is going to be half 2. This is going to be 1/4. That is going to be, sorry, this also is going to be half if I'm not wrong. Yes, this is 2. This is basically 4. So this is 1 by 2. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 is there. And just check if you are also getting 1 by 5 over there. Yes, 3 plus 1 by 5, something like that. Just check this out. 3 plus 1 by 5. 3 plus 1 by 5. All right. Everything in percentage, of course. This will be then 5 threes are 15, 15 plus 1, 16, 16 by 5 percentage. So basically now, if this is 16 by 5 percentage, you have to write it as x by 1000. So you basically multiply 5 with 200. So then it will become 1000. So 16 also you have to multiply it with 200. Okay, 16 also you have to multiply it with basically then 200. I hope this is clear. Yeah. So in this also what happened was, if I'm not wrong, in this particular question also, I think the value of x which you get, does not match with the integer type of things. It does not match with the integer type of things that you get over here. So apparently this was also basically something like bonus, because the answer given was 77, but the actual answer that you get was 7700. So this also actually became bonus. Okay, cool. All right. Now, next question is also actually a bonus question because it was based on the growth law similar to radioactive decay. Now, the problem is this word of radioactive decay. The problem is this word of the radioactive decay. So, radioactivity is deleted from the syllabus. So any question coming on radioactivity should technically be a bonus. But just to give you the answer, because the bacterial growth is similar to radioactive decay, but here it is growing instead of decaying. So what happens is, in this particular type of problem, n will be equal to n naught e to the power plus lambda t, because it is growing. It is a colony growth. It is not decaying. So it is similar to it, but not exactly the same, because this minus will not come, plus will come. So technically n by n naught will be e to the power plus lambda t. So when time is zero, n by n naught will be basically 1. So when time is 0, n by n naught will be 1. And as time increases, you will see this ratio will also increase. So there is only one option like that. It starts from 1 and it keeps on increasing like this. So it should have been option number A, but it is bonus because it was based on radioactivity. Yep. Is that clear, everyone? Yes, yes. Uh, if bonus that all options will get 4 marks, no gaming. Actually, so what happens is there are rules for bonus. You should go to the JEE Mains website and check it out properly. For every condition, they have mentioned what they are going to do. So if you go to this particular website and go to this information bulletin, okay, now it is not up downloading. Excellent. I believe there are some issues also with the even the answer key right now. I think as we speak, it is not getting downloaded. I think even the admit cards, sorry, not admit cards, the answer key was not getting downloaded. So let me see from here if it is getting downloaded. So over here, they have mentioned what and all they were going to do for every single thing. If the question is dropped, then everybody gets. If it is not dropped, but if there is some problem in the answer, two answers are correct, then what are they going to do? If all four answers are correct, then what are you going to do? So all those conditions, they have mentioned it in the brochure. Please go through it, gaming brothers. Okay, just go through that. All right, let's go to the next question then. All right, here we come. Aha, this particular question is also bonus. Now I'll tell you why. Because when we did the memory based question, I remembered solving this question. We assumed that the distance from here to here was half the side length of a cube, something like that we assumed, but it was not actually given. So this particular distance is not given to you and we assumed it as a by 2, then you can solve it. Otherwise, you cannot solve it. That is why technically this question becomes a bonus. But let's say we assume that this distance was given to us, which is a by 2. Then how you solve this question is you basically complete a big cube. You complete a big cube, something like this. It will look something like this. This is a big cube, and that cube is at the center of that very big cube. So, if you notice, the total flux through the entire big cube will be by Gauss law Q by epsilon naught. So the flux through any one such face, because there are 6 faces, so it will be 1/6 of epsilon naught, because 6 faces are there. 6 faces are there inside a cube. Now you consider this particular face, my dear warriors. Just you consider this entire face over here, as you can see. In that particular face, divide that face into 4 equal parts, or rather I would say 8 equal parts. Consider one such part. Consider one such part over here. Consider one such part over here. So the through flux through one such part will be 1 eighth, because these kind of parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 parts will come. Think about it, one here, another over here, another over here, another over here, another over here. So like that, there are totally 8 parts over here. All are equal. So this will be 1/8 the flux through any one phase. So it will be nothing but 1 by 8 multiplied by q by 6 epsilon naught multiplied by 6 epsilon naught. So this will be q by 48 epsilon naught. I hope this is clear. Now the question is, how much flux is there through the shaded region? How much flux is there in that shaded region? This is that shaded region, if I'm not wrong. Yes, this is that shaded region. This is consisting of how many such 1/8 parts? One like this over here, 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 and finally over here. Can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 such parts are there? So flux through the shaded part will be 5 times the flux through each of those small parts. So q by 48 epsilon naught. Hence, that particular number which comes below in the denominator is 48. Hence, that number which comes below in the denominator is 48. Is that absolutely clear, my dear students? Everyone? Very good. Excellent. Then, moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. Moving to the next question. There is some interface which is given, all right, and there are two materials, different refractive indices. Critical angle is given to be theta 1c. N2 material is replaced by another material having refractive index N3 such that the critical angle between this is N1 and N3 is theta 2c. Okay, so I'll tell you what is happening over here. N3 more than N2, I think one part is missing, and that is more than N1. This should be given. This is also actually a bonus. So if you see the first line, it says refractive indices are N1 and N2, and the critical angle is theta 1c. Now, out of N2 and N1, N2 is more than N1. So this is basically your dense medium. This is basically your rare medium. We know sine of the critical angle. So theta 1c, critical angle for the first time, will be the lower refractive index by higher, because sine values are always less than 1. So it will be basically N1 by N2. Similarly, what you can do for the second statement, material N2 and another material N3, we can see N3 is more than N2. So again, technically this is a dense medium. This is a relatively rare medium. So the second time the critical angle will be nothing but the lower by higher refractive index. So it will be N2 by N3. Now N2 by N3 is already mentioned as 2 by 5 as per the given information. So the difference of the critical angles is half. Then how much is theta 1c? Okay, now what we can do, we can just use this over here. So sine of theta 2c, sine of theta 2c is nothing but 2 by 5 minus sine of theta 1c is equal to, this is basically half as it is over here. So therefore, sine of theta 1c will be 2 by 5 minus half. 2 by 5 here, half here, so sine of theta 1c. Technically now this is going to be lesser than or 0. So this is going to be a negative number. So 4 minus 5. Yes. So this is just going to be 4 and this is just going to be 5 divided by 10, which is going to be minus 1 by 10, which is going to be minus 1 by 10. As you can see, none of the options are matching, number one. Okay. And also, none of the answers should have N1 in the answer. I mean, definitely this is going to be wrong. Yeah, I hope this is absolutely clear. Yeah, so the answer should be this. Number one, this is also creating an issue over here that the answer is negative. So something was definitely wrong in the question. Maybe it was this minus this. Who knows? So question also is wrong. Options also are wrong. None of them are matching. This should be a bonus question. Next. Now this was a question where they tried to make it a good question. I don't know. I think they put some random dudes out there to make this question, but they were not able to make it. at least from what I can see. So there are two dipoles given, and at this particular point, you want no net force. That means the field should be zero. So if you see, for this particular dipole, for this particular dipole, okay, this particular point is the equator. This particular point is the equator, and the field will go like this. The electric field due to that dipole, due to the equatorial region, at the equatorial region will be like this. For this particular dipole, as you can see, the dipole is placed like this. You are on the axis, so this particular point will be the axial point, and the field will be obviously directed this way. So electric field at the axis. So now it doesn't make sense even if you equate it, because we want, as per the given information, to experience not to experience any net force. That means the net field should be zero. Net field should be zero. So there should definitely cancel out. So what and all should cancel out? That is very important. The electric field at the equator, which is given by Coulomb constant, P divided by divided by r cube divided by r cube, and over here at the axis it is 2kp divided by r cube. Now the dipoles are the same, lengths are the same, so pp cancels, and funny part is kk will also cancel, r cube also will cancel. So they are trying to prove 2 is equal to 1. What nonsense is happening? So definitely there was something missing in this problem. Obviously this can't be correct. This can't be correct. So they tried to do something. Maybe the dipoles were of different magnitudes, or maybe they had to find the ratio of a by r by some other means. So definitely this question should be a bonus question. Now, there is another thought to this. Let me tell you, not many people know this. Maybe somebody might argue, sir, maybe the dipole was not short. Maybe the dipole was considered to be of a bigger length. Yeah. Thank you, Hari. Welcome. Vivan, sir got infinite riz. What is the meaning of riz, bro? I don't know what is the meaning of riz. Please tell me this Gen Z term. I get confused. Skibidi. I don't know. Okay. When you're free because of your health will matter. Definitely, gaming brothers. We are going to do mentorship programs, and in fact, the first 20 slots of our mentorship got full very fast. So we had to close it down. And right now, I'm connecting with all the students one on one, along with Diksha ma'am and Namrata ma'am. All of us sit together on a video call and we help students, we mentor students. In fact, the next 1 year for 2026, we are going to be as the mentors for the 2026 batch for the entire year. So that's what we're going to do. So many people thought that maybe this could be a long dipole, not a short dipole. So the assumptions are not valid. So then what happens is it becomes even more scarier, because this positive charge at this particular point along this particular line will give an electric field like this. This negative charge at this particular point will give an electric field like this. This particular positive charge over here will give an electric field like this, and similarly this negative charge will give an electric field like this. So all these things will be there, and then you assume some angles also. Let's say this is theta, this is also theta. So this will be basically 90 minus theta, even this will be 90 minus theta, and all of that. And then you say that the fields will balance. Then you say the field will be balanced. So the electric field due to the positive Q charge will be balanced by the electric field due to the negative Q charge plus. Remember, these two fields are due to same magnitude charges, QQ, at the same distance. This distance will be root of r square plus a square. So the electric field due to either one of the charges, let's say Q, but you are taking the cos 90 minus theta component, but there are two such charges, this one and this one, of same magnitude, giving components in the same direction. remember their vertical components will anyways cancel out each other. So only take their cos components. So this will be equal. Now when you solve this, what happens is there is a big problem. It becomes an extremely complex question which can't be solved by your regular maths that you learn in 11th and 12th. So that becomes the problem. That becomes the problem. Hello, Manoj. Yes. Is that absolutely clear, my dear students? Yeah. So this becomes an extremely complex problem because think about it. This this particular term will be nothing but kq divided by this much distance, which is r minus a whole square. Then this particular term will be kq divided by r plus a whole square. Then this particular term will be kq divided by r square plus a square. This cos 90 minus theta will become sine theta. Sine theta will then become opposite by hypotenuse. Opposite is basically a. Hypotenuse is root of r square plus a square. Do you see the complex nature of this equation? It is not a quadratic, it is not a cubic, it is very weird. So, I mean, NTA should have thought, what were they really cooking? What were they really cooking? I don't know. They cooked this particular question and somehow they got A by R is 3. So, some really, I don't know, some really sad person made this question and this question is not solvable, guys. Yeah, I hope this is absolutely clear. Okay. Hello Sanjay, 110 first attempt. Can you try to prepare for main second attempt? Definitely, 110 is not a bad score to prepare for second attempt. Why are you who told you that you should not prepare? Obviously you can. Now this particular question also had two options which could be correct and I'll tell you why. See, in this particular question, they said the uncertainty in the length is 1%. Now, the problem is when you have this particular bar magnet of length 2L and the field at a point P is at a distance D is 10 units, then remember the uncertainty in the length measurement is given the uncertainty in the magnetic field. Magnetic field is given by mu naught by 4 pi. If this is a dipole, this is the point on the equator again into magnetic moment divided by the distance which is r cube. So delta B by B will be delta M by M plus delta R by R multiplied by 3 because the power of R is 3. Delta M by M, remember magnetic moment is magnetic charge into magnetic length. So technically this will only have an error in the length over here and this will be delta R by R multiplied by 3. Now the problem is this word or this line uncertainty in the length of the measurement. Now are they saying both the lengths this as well as this? If they say both, then if this is 1%, this is 1%, 1% into 3 plus 1, the answer will be then basically 4%. But if they mean only this, then the answer is 1%. If they mean only this, then the answer is 3%. So that is very, very doubtful, very, very ambiguous. If you just take this 1% into 3 and there is nothing over here, then the answer is 3%. So the answer can be 3%, it could be 4%, or if it is just the length of the dipole, then the answer could be even 1%. So 1% is anyways not there in the options, but both the options seem to be correct according to each theory. So that is why this should also be a bonus question. I hope this is absolutely clear. Okay. Shall we go ahead to the next question, my dear students? Shall we go ahead to the next question? Okay. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Next question. For a short dipole placed at the origin, the dipole moment is along the x-axis. For a short dipole, as shown in the figure, the electric potential and the electric field at A and at A are V naught and E naught at this point. Then the correct combination of field and potential at point B will be how much? Okay. So first of all, as you can notice over here, the dipole is like this. So if you consider this particular point, it is on the axis, and on the axis, remember the electric field is given by K into 2P divided by R cube, and the potential is given by K P divided by Kp divided by R square. So that is what it is. Now let's go over here. This is first of all the equatorial point. So at the equator, the potential has to be zero. The potential has to be zero. So zero is there here, zero is there here. So B option and D option automatically gets eliminated. Okay, because you're equidistant from the positive and negative charge, they give equal amounts of positive and negative potential. Okay, next, the electric field is just given by Kp divided by the distance is 2r whole cube. So it will be Kp divided by r cube, and then you have 2 cube over here. 2 cube is nothing but 8. But what is Kp by r cube? Kp by r cube, you can see from here, it is nothing but you can directly import this, bring that 2 below. It will be nothing but E naught divided by 2. So therefore, this is nothing but E naught divided by 16, my dear warriors. So E naught divided by 16 is the answer along with 0. Is this absolutely clear? How we solve this particular question? Yep. Yes. Yes. When it feels that you should be scared to jump, that's exactly when you should jump. Very nice, Zanze. But please don't jump from a building or a hill. Okay. If you're scared to jump from a building, please be scared. Please don't jump from the building. Okay. So you should know when to jump and when not to jump also. Proton is moving in a region of electric magnetic field with some speed undeflected. That's the word. So if this is the thing given, we know this is a question on crossed field, and in a crossed field, the speed is given by E by B, and this is given to be 2 into 10 to the power 5 is nothing but E divided by B. E divided by B. Okay. Now the next part. Let's see. Now the next part. Okay, when the electric field is switched off, the proton goes in a circular path. So for that circular path, that is in a transverse field, we know that the radius is mass into velocity divided by QB. So I think from this, we can get the value of magnetic field, which we can substitute over here. Okay, fine. So B will be nothing but mass times velocity divided by Q into R. So mass of, what is it? It's a proton. So proton approximately has a mass of 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Velocity is already given. How much is it? 2 into 10 to the power 5. And the whole thing divided by charge, which is 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. And the radius, is the radius given? Where is it? Radius 2 centimeter. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. So whatever B you get, substitute it over here. From this, you will definitely get the value of electric field. So that value of electric field comes out 2 into 10 to the power 4. Okay. So that comes out as 2 into 10 to the power 4 Newton per Coulomb. Is that understood how this has to be solved? So two concepts, two theory points are needed. Yes, of the same chapter. Okay. I know, Sanjay, Chumma pulling your leg. Yeah, gaming, the mentorship form is not active because the slots are closed right now. Because, like I mentioned, also only 20 slots. I think that thing just got over in couple of hours. Okay, as soon as people saw, some people were thinking what to do, and then it got closed. So don't worry, I will open it up again after some days. Okay. A tube of length 1 meter is filled with a liquid of mass 2m and closed. The tube is rotated and the force exerted by the liquid at the other end is F. Then the angular velocity of the tube is how much? In SI units. Okay. So alpha is asked. So now this particular question, you can solve it via two ways. One is a long cut method, another is a shortcut method. So I'll tell you, see over here, this is that particular tube of length 1 meter is filled completely with the ideal fluid of mass 2m. So the mass of this is basically 2m, and this is basically the axis. It is rotated like that with omega. Now every part of the liquid will experience centrifugal force. That force has to be balanced by the force of the pull towards the center. So you will see that the force of the by the liquid at the other end, if it is F, you have to pull that particular liquid with some particular force, or else it will fly off. Okay, and all these forces are balancing this particular force F. Yes, there is centrifugal force here, centrifugal force here, centrifugal force here, more force here, more force here. All these centrifugal forces, all these centrifugal forces are to be balanced by a force like this. And where will this force come from? Obviously, you can never pull a liquid. So basically, this force can't really come here. So that force will come on the other side, basically like a normal. So it will come like a normal. So it will be balanced from this side. So this F is basically, technically speaking, the summation of all the small centrifugal forces, all the small centrifugal forces. But I would definitely not suggest this method, because definitely this is a long method, although the answer will be the same. Rather, I would suggest another interesting method to find that same force. That force will be, that force will be the total mass, the total mass into omega square, angular speed square, into r, but of the center of mass. Why not assume the entire thing to be concentrated at the center? So this entire problem becomes as if there is a string or something, a rod, and it's of mass 2m, and then I have to pull it with a force of F. That's it. So it becomes a much easier problem. So therefore, the mass is nothing but 2m. Omega is I think asked. So I'll put omega square. RCOM will be the total length. What is the total length? It is 1 meter. So it will be half. 2 and half will get cancelled. Is that force given? No, I'll just put it as F. So basically, F will be m omega square. F will be nothing but m omega square. So therefore, omega will be root of F divided by m. So omega will be nothing but root of F divided by m. So that constant which will be there, that constant which is there over here is nothing but the number 1. Yes, that constant which is there over here is nothing but the number 1. Is that clear, everyone? Ideally, they should have given, Priya, but it is better that you remember it. It's better that you remember these values of protons, electrons, etc. Okay, chal. Let's go to the next question. The net current flowing in the given circuit is, this kind of question has been asked in multiple competitive exams in different ways. In fact, if you remember KVPY exam, it used to be there long time back. So those exams used to generally have these kind of questions. So anyways, how to solve this is, look at it. These two resistors are actually in series. So this is basically 5 ohm. Now this 5 and this 5, can you notice? This 5 and this 5 are in parallel. So what happens is, when you combine this, with this particular 5 ohm, when you combine this with this particular 5 ohm resistance, so they are in parallel. So it will basically become 2.5 ohm. But there is an interesting catch here. There is a capacitor. If there is a capacitor, no current can flow in this particular part of the circuit. So this capacitor is going to play a spoil sport over here. And what it will do, it will block the current in this branch. So if no current can go in this particular branch, no current can enter here. So actually speaking, what I just did was pretty much useless over here. Okay, so this capacitor is that spoil sport over here. So no current will go over here. It blocks that current. If it blocks that current, this is also useless, this is also useless, this is also useless. No current can go here. So the pretty much useful part is only this much. So the useful part is only this much. The other parts are pretty much completely waste. So might as well not even consider it. So now this is your simplified diagram. Now solving this is much better. Now you can see this 6 and 3 are in parallel. So that means the equivalent will be 6 into 3 by 6 plus 3, which is 18 by 9, which is 2 ohms. Now this 2 ohms and this 2 ohms, can you see? This 2 and these two resistors are in series. So they will definitely become 4 ohms. 2 and 2 will become 4 ohms. This 4 and this 4, you can see they are in parallel. So R equivalent will become 2 ohms because this 4 ohm is parallel with 4 ohm. So the equivalent will definitely become 2 ohms. So the current will be voltage by resistance. So it will be 2 by 2, which is 1 ampere. So 1 ampere will be the answer. The net current, I think they have given something wrong. It should be 1 ampere over here. Yeah, it is basically 1 ampere over here. Is this absolutely clear, everyone? Yes, perfect, perfect. Awesome, awesome. Great. So as you can see, the interesting part of this entire problem was this capacitor. This capacitor is completely waste fellow. It blocks that current. So only this much part was important. So this was 2 ohm, 2 becomes 4, 4 and 4 parallel becomes 2 ohms, 2 volts, 2 ohms will give you 1 ampere current. Okay, moving on to the next question which comes up on your screen is this. Electric field equation for a electromagnetic wave is given and they have asked the magnetic field and then they have asked the magnetic field. Now, my dear students, in these type of questions, I have given you the trick. Even during the discussion, I told you what you should be doing. See, first of all, see the inside terms. Inside terms should at least match. Like if it is 3x plus 4y, 3x plus 4y, 3x plus 4y, 3x plus 4y, perfect. This is some I cap, J cap, so it is moving in 2 dimension. Okay, it's a cos function, so everything should be cos, perfect. All the other factors should be the same, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, yes. 5 into 10 to the power minus 3, yes. So basically, they have played with us because all the terms inside the cos is the same. Only thing which is different is the outside term, which is the amplitude, and the direction part, which is k cap, or is it minus k cap. Okay, so let's start with it. First of all, let's understand the amplitude part because we all know that the electric field amplitude by magnetic field amplitude is the speed of light. So the magnetic field amplitude will be electric field amplitude by C. So electric field amplitude was 57. Speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8. 3 into 10 to the power 8. So 57 by 3 into 10 to the power 8. Best part, everything has the same amplitude. Everything has the same amplitude. That means you can't eliminate only. There is no way. Yes, yes. There is no way you can eliminate only. So now we have only one option now to actually sit and solve for the direction. So direction wise, because there is minus sign, so the speed of light technically is in the direction of 3. X means I cap, Y means J cap, so 4 J cap. But C hat we have to find. So divided by the magnitude, that means the root of 3 square plus 4 square. So it will be basically 3 by 5 I cap plus 4 by 5 J cap. That is the direction of the wave. Direction of that wave propagation is this. Whatever is there over here, if it was X, Y, Z, so accordingly you will take those numbers 3 I cap, 4 J cap, something K cap, and divided by the magnitude, that will give me the unit vector of the direction. That is basically my unit vector, unit vector of the direction of the wave. Now, if this is minus, this will be plus. If this is plus, this will be minus. Remember, in waves, if it is kx minus omega t, then the wave is going in the positive axis. If it is kx plus omega t, then it is going in the negative axis. So because this was minus, that's why you can see this is positive I cap, positive j cap. If by chance this was plus, trust me, this entire thing would have been minus. Is that okay? Everybody got it till this point? All right. Now, remember one thing. See, when you have electric field, speed of light, and magnetic field, they are all mutually perpendicular. And we have to find B, right? You can notice B can be obtained by right hand thumb rule. If you go from C to E like this, so C hat cross E hat will be B hat. C hat cross E hat will be basically B hat. Now C hat we already know it is 3 I cap by 5 plus 4 J cap divided by 5 cross E hat. E hat is basically what direction? 4 I cap minus 3 j cap. 4 I cap minus 3 j cap is there over here. All right. So I have to find E cap. So that will be 4 I cap minus 3 j cap divided by 5 again. Why divided by 5? The magnitude. I want to find the hat vector. This was the complete magnitude part, and that will be equal to B hat. So try to find this out and see how much does B hat come out to be. Just try to find out how much does B hat come out to be. I think the B hat value comes out to be 5k with a negative sign. Just see if it comes out to be 5k with a negative sign. So minus 5k cap. So that is the reason why you'll have 5k over here and this negative sign over here. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. Awesome. Naveen Kumar, the batch for 12th is starting very soon. Very, very soon, in fact. All right. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. Consider a moving coil galvanometer. The torsional constant has the dimension so and so. Increasing the current sensitivity may not necessarily increase the voltage sensitivity if you increase turns, etc. Now, this was a purely statement-based question. Just check it out. Out of that, which all statements are correct? I'll just mark the statement: statement A, statement B, statement C, statement D, and statement E. So out of this, only few of the statements are correct. Torsional constant has the dimension of this. Now, torsional constant, remember, is related with torque. Torque is nothing but torsional constant into theta. So the dimension of torsional constant is the dimension of torque divided by dimension of theta. Now, theta is a dimensionless quantity, angle. Torque has a dimension of energy, which is m1 L2 t raised to minus 2. m1 L2 t raised to minus 2. Yes, A option is definitely correct. Increasing the current sensitivity may not necessarily increase the voltage sensitivity. Yes, in fact, that is also basically correct. If you increase current sensitivity, voltage sensitivity may increase, it may decrease. It depends on many other things. Okay. If we increase the number of turns to double, then the voltage sensitivity will also double. Now, what about this? If you increase the number of turns to double, then the voltage sensitivity doubles. Now, there is a formula actually, if you remember. Um, Current is directly proportional to theta, and current is NBA divided by torsional constant into theta. So current by theta is number of turns BA divided by K. Now, when you double this, then what happens? This thing will become 2 times the current per unit angle. So the current sensitivity will double, but does not mean voltage sensitivity will double. Keep that in mind. In fact, voltage will voltage will reduce for the same resistance, because if voltage sensitivity might even reduce for that same thing. So technically speaking, that option is also wrong. Okay. MCG can be converted into ammeter by introducing a shunt resistance of large value. Yes, a galvanometer can be converted into an ammeter, okay, by parallel resistance, but of a large value. This part is definitely wrong, guys. Not large, this should be small. This should be basically small. This should be basically small value. Okay, let's just check whether voltage sensitivity and current sensitivity, how are they related. Then probably we can guess for B and C, because I might think that maybe it should also increase. Just let me think about it 1 second. Now, if this is current sensitivity, how can I write voltage sensitivity? Well, see, voltage sensitivity will be V by theta. V by theta. All right. Voltage per unit angle. Now, V is equal to IR. So, IR divided by theta. So, technically, this is I by theta and this is basically R. All right. So, if I essentially increase the number of turns to double, then the voltage sensitivity will double. Oh, there is another problem. The moment I increase the number of turns, the problem is this resistance will also increase. This resistance will also increase. So technically, we can't really say. yes, technically we can't really say, whether the resistance, if it increases many times, so maybe it might be more than a factor of 2. So that is wrong to say that voltage sensitivity will double. Okay. Current sensitivity depends inversely on the number of turns on the coil. Current sensitivity, current sensitivity inversely on the coil. So E option seems to be wrong. E option seems to be wrong. Current sensitivity inversely. No, it depends directly proportional. So E is definitely wrong. This is also definitely wrong. If we increase the turns to double, then the voltage sensitivity doubles. This is also wrong. Increasing the current sensitivity may not necessarily increase the voltage sensitivity. This is also wrong. Only A is correct. Something is wrong in this. Okay, let me just check once more. Torsional constant A is definitely correct. Yeah, only seems like only A is correct, nothing else. No, D also is wrong. Who is this? Santosh. D also is wrong because you need a resistance of very small value in parallel. Okay, not large value. You need a resistance of extremely small value. Okay, I hope this is absolutely clear. All right, moving on to the next question. In this, only A option is correct, guys. Nothing else is correct. And I'm telling you why. The moment you increase current sensitivity does not mean voltage sensitivity will increase, because voltage sensitivity is also dependent on the resistance. So nothing has been mentioned about the resistance. What are you doing with the resistance of the coil? So resistance, if it decreases, voltage sensitivity can decrease also. Resistance, if it increases, voltage sensitivity can increase also. So there is no direct relationship unless it is mentioned R is constant, resistance of the coil is constant. So definitely the answer for B also depends. It is not necessarily increase, it can decrease. Is that okay? So none of the other options are correct, only option A is the correct one. Moving to the next one. There is a spherical surface separates the air and glass. There is a curvature. There is a point object in the surface. So the real image is formed at I inside the glass. OI intersects at P. P is the pole. PO is equal to PI. That means object distance and image distance are same. Distance PO is equal to. Okay, air from the glass. The center of curvature is in the glass. Okay. So this is how it is. The center of curvature is inside that particular glass. Glass has a refractive index of 1.5. Air obviously has a refractive index of 1. And then you take this particular principal axis, and it is mentioned very clearly that the object distance is equal to image distance. So let's say this is the object. I don't know, Chuma, I'm writing this is the image. So the ray will go like this and it will form the image over here. Example. Now let's assume this distance to be x. So naturally this distance will also be x. So object distance will be minus x. Image distance will be plus x. Okay, that's all. And what else is there? uh, the distance PO. So P is basically the pole. So they have asked how much is X. Okay. They have also given the radius of curvature to be R. So just use the formula. You will get the answer. The formula is mu2 by V minus mu1 by U is equal to mu2 minus mu1 divided by R. Now mu2, refractive index on the other side is 1.5. Image distance is basically x. First refractive index is 1. Object distance is negative x. So 1.5 minus 1 divided by r over here directly. So now what do we get? Well, as you can see, 1.5 is nothing but 3 by 2. And this minus minus is plus. 1.5 minus 1 is 0.5. So 1 by 2. Okay. So 3 by 2 plus 1, which is nothing but 5 by 2. So 5 by 2x is equal to 1 by 2r. 2 cancels. So x by 5 is equal to r. That means x is nothing but 5 times of r. So x is nothing but 5 times of r, which is nothing but option number D. Which is nothing but option number D. Is that clear? Everyone? Is it possible to score about 90% in boards in 15 days? Depends. RIP exam, what is your current score now? What is your current score in the mock test now? So it depends completely on that. Next, regarding self-inductance, the self-inductance of the coil depends on its geometry. Okay, so again, many statements are there. So I'll just mark the statements for you so that you can see it clearly. A statement, B statement, C statement, D statement, E statement. So there were many statement-based questions. As you can see, multiple times many statement-based questions have come. Okay, anyways, the self-inductance of the coil depends on its geometry. Definitely A is correct. It depends on its geometry. Self-inductance does not depend on the permeability. I think B option definitely is a wrong answer. It depends on the material which is present, ferro, para, dia, etc. Self-induced EMF opposes any change in the current in a circuit. Yes, definitely, that is Lenz's law. Then self-inductance is electromagnetic analog of mass in mechanics. Yes, that is useful for LC oscillations also. Mass can be converted into inductance in many formulas. Work needs to be done against self-inductive EMF in establishing the current. Definitely, because this inductance is always going to resist any change in the current. So you have to really push your way through to build that current in the circuit against the inductor. So it resists any change. So you need to do work. So A, C, D, E. A, C, D, E, which is B option. Yes, A, C, D, E, which is basically B option. Yeah, I hope this is absolutely clear. Moving on. What is the lateral shift of a ray through a parallel sided glass? So if you have a glass slab like this, and by chance the ray comes over here, it was supposed to go here, but it gets refracted. But basically it gets refracted and then it comes out. So definitely there is a shift. So definitely there is a lateral shift. Direct formula is there. Yes. What is that direct formula, my dear students? Yeah, it is the thickness. It depends on that particular thickness also. So let's say this is H. So it is thickness into sine I minus R by cos R. Yes, I think it should be option number D. Yep. H sine I minus R divided by cos R. In fact, they have directly asked the formula. Usually they should have asked some application, but instead they have just asked, okay, what is the formula? Nothing else. Okay, so let's do. Yeah, divided by cos R. Moving on to the next question. A solid sphere, radius, mass, without slipping, highest point, and makes angle theta. The speed at the bottom is V1. The angle of inclination is increased. Keeping the length same, then the speed at the bottom will be how much? Interesting. So, see guys, this is this particular inclined plane. Let's assume in general theta and this particular length is the same. So what will happen to the height? The height from which it will come down will be L sine theta. Now, as it comes down and it reaches the bottom, it has some speed and obviously some rotational energy also, or rotational speed also. So I can say that the potential energy got converted into kinetic energy of translation and rotation, both. Potential energy will be mgh. Kinetic energy of translation is half mv square. Rotational energy is half. What is it? It's a solid sphere. So 2 by 5 mr square into omega. Omega will be v by r and this whole square. But wait a minute, height I already know. Height is nothing but L sine theta is equal to, check this out, half mv square, r square cancels. In fact, half is also common. Half mv square is common. 1 plus 2 by 5 will be there. M will cancel. So you will be left with GL sine theta is equal to, this will be 7 by 5. So 5 2s are 10. 5 2s are 10. So 7 by 10 V square. I think they have asked what is the ratio. So you can see 7, 10, LG are constants. So V1 square by V2 square will be sine theta 1 by sine theta 2. Sine theta 1. So that is basically sine 30. Sine theta 2, I think next time is 45 degree. So sine 45 degree. So this is half by 1 by root 2. So 2 will come here, root 2 will come here. So this will be 1 by root 2. So 1 by root 2 is the answer. Yes, definitely. So very simple question, but you had to sit and calculate. What I did is I did not calculate it 2 times. Rather, I did it once, assuming a general angle theta. Towards the end, I substituted. I saw many students, they did it 2 times for 30 and 45 degrees. Why do you want to waste double your time? Okay, just you can do it once and then you are sorted. Is that okay? Shall we go ahead to the next question, guys? Yep, let's go. Here we come. Consider a circular disk of some radius with the center located at the origin. A circular hole of some radius is cut from the disk in such a way that the edge of the hole touches the edge of the disk. The distance of the center of mass of the residual or the remaining disk from the origin will be. Now, see, let me draw the diagram for this. Let me draw the diagram for this. Okay, this is a circular disk of 20 centimeter at the origin. Okay, circular hole of radius 5 centimeter is cut from the disk such that the edge of the hole touches the edge of the disk. Okay, so this is how it is. Please do not think that this point will touch the center. That is completely wrong assumption. Lot of people did that. That will be definitely a wrong assumption. Okay, right? So this is how it is. Now the question is the distance of the center of mass of the residual or the remaining disk from the origin will be. Okay, so to find this particular thing out, all you need to do is x coordinate of the center of mass will be m1 x1 minus m2 x2 divided by m1 minus m2. That's all. You just need to find what is m1, what is m2, etc. Now, first of all, m1 is the complete disk without this hole. So if you take that complete disk without that hole, let's say the mass is m. So technically this m1 is nothing but m. If you see the total disk, the center of mass would have been at the origin without the cutout. So x1 technically is 0. So m1 is nothing but m. This much part is at least done. Okay, now let's go on to this part which has been cut out. Now this is very interesting. See, first of all, the center of mass is here. The radius is given to be 5 centimeter and the bigger disk radius is 20 centimeter. So this much is 20 centimeter. This much only is 5 centimeter. So how much is only this much then from the origin? This will be 15 centimeter. So that 15 will be x2. That 15 will be basically x2. Number one. Next important thing, keep in mind that the mass of any of the disk is proportional to the area and area is proportional to the square of the radius. Now consider both the disks. Radius, the radius are what? 5 centimeter and 20 centimeter. That means the ratio is 1 is to 4. Therefore, the mass, if at all, should be square proportional. It will be in the ratio 1 is to 16. So, if the bigger disk has a mass of m, the smaller disk will have a mass of 1/16th time. So, hence, this particular m2 which you are seeing will be m by 16. This will be m by 16 because 1/4 radius means 1/16th of the mass because square proportional. Square of 1/4 is 1/16th. Hence, 1/16th will be the mass. Just substitute this and you will get the answer. Yes, substituting this, you should get the answer as 1 centimeter. Yep, you should get this answer as 1 centimeter. Technically, it will come -1. So the distance will be basically mod of -1, which is 1 centimeter, because they have asked the distance from the origin. From the origin. So this is the center of mass's distance from the origin. It will be somewhere there. Good morning, everyone. Death Note, welcome. Clear? Shall we go ahead to the next question? Shall we go ahead to the next question, guys? Okay, let's go. Here comes the next question. The position of a particle moving along the x-axis is given by blah, 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 blah. Then the dimension of A, B, C by D. Then the dimension of A, B, C divided by D is how much? Okay, what do we do in this particular case? See, directly see, this is having a dimension of length L. Sin t is completely dimensionless, so A should definitely be L. This is cos 2t. Cos has no dimension. B also should have the dimension of L only. Okay, plus this is equal to. Then ct square. This is having the dimension of t raised to 2. To match the dimension of length, so this should have the dimension of L by t square. L by t square. And lastly, D should again have the dimension of length. That's it. Once we get this, solving this is not a difficult task. A's dimension is L. B's dimension is also L. C's dimension is L by t square. D's dimension is L. So essentially, one of the L's gets cancelled, L raised to 2, t raised to minus 2. So L raised to 2, t raised to minus 2. Oops, sorry, this is not this. This is the correct answer. Yeah, option number C. Is that clear, my dear students? Is that clear, my dear students? Everyone? Okay. So A will have L, B into cos 2t. Cos has no dimension, that is also L. C, that should also have the dimension of L only with t square divided because t square is there. So t square will get cancelled. D is just added, so it should have the same dimension as position. So L into L into L by t square divided by L. L cancels, L square by t square, which is option number C. Is that absolutely clear? Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. Here it is. There is a point charge which causes some flux through a Gaussian surface at the center. What is the value of the charge? This was direct question because we know that the total flux is Q by epsilon naught. So Q will be flux multiplied by epsilon naught. So flux is how much? It's given -2 into 10 to the power 4 and epsilon naught permittivity is 8.85 into 10 to the power -12. So you might be wondering what is the use of this? This is a completely useless piece of information because whatever the radius is, it really won't matter. It really won't matter. Yeah. So the answer will be definitely negative. I think the answer should be minus 17.7 into 10 to the power -8. Okay, so when you solve this, you are going to get this. Anyways, moving on. There is a cube of certain length and mass. It's floating in water. It is pushed down and it is released. It executes SHM. What is the time period of oscillation? What is the time period of oscillation? Now, for such questions, there is a simple derivation, or you can remember the formula. See, how it goes is, imagine this particular cubical box was floating. Now you push it down further down by some amount X. Let's say the area was A of cross section. Then this is that extra volume which will be submerged. That extra volume submerged will give you an extra buoyant force. So that restoring force, so the restoring force which is extra due to the extra displaced fluid will be that extra volume which is displaced into density of liquid into G. That volume will be area into X. So it will be area into X into rho into G. So it will be A rho G into X. So you can see this much is basically a constant. Just like spring forces Kx, this is that constant. So therefore, we can find the time period. Time period is 2 pi under root mass by that constant, spring constant, you can say. So this will be 2 pi root constant is A rho G. A rho G. What about the mass? The mass of this entire thing, mass of this entire solid, mass will be density of that solid into the volume. Volume is area into the height, which is A into L. So just put over here sigma AL, and of course that is the mass. Now area gets cancelled, and I am just left with 2 pi root of density of solid into the length or the side length divided by density of liquid into G. Now everything we know, check this out, mass is given, everything is given. It is executing oscillations, everything is given. So find the value. Okay, it is pushed down. Water's density, I think we have to assume. And in fact, over here we did not even have to convert it into this form. You could have directly gone ahead with this particular form. So this sigma AL technically is nothing but the mass, and this mass in this particular problem was actually given to me as 10 gram, which is 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg. So directly at this point only we could have gone ahead with the problem. And this A is also known to me because the side length is given. So this will be 10 multiplied by 10 centimeter, but converted into meter square by multiplying it by minus 4. Okay, density of water, you can take it as 10 to the power 3, and G value is obviously 10. So substituting all these values, you will get the answer, I think, as 2. Just check this out. Yeah. Is that okay? Great. Great. EDS, you did not have to do that, Priya, because you don't really know the electric field. I mean, you can find out the electric field, but why do you want to do that? Yeah. Why do you want to do that? Correct? All right. Next question. Heat treatment involves 900 nanometer wavelength. The spectral line which is suitable for this. The spectral line which is basically suited for this is what? Now, this was a very saddest question because you do not know the transition. Wavelength is known. So, are you going to sit and try all these things? No. Rather, I will give you a short trick to help you eliminate at least few of the options. Okay, I'll help you with a short trick. See, Lyman series, which is there, it is usually in the ultraviolet region. Then you have Balmer, and then you have Paschen, and the Paschen series is basically in the infrared region. And then you have that rainbow of colors right from blue to red, which is basically your visible spectrum, and that is basically your Balmer series. Now, notice over here, this visible light starts from 400 nanometers to 700 nanometers. This is a standard data. You should know it. As per this, can you see the 900 nanometer wavelength is definitely in the 900 nanometer, definitely is in the infrared region. That means it should be Paschen. So automatically these two options will get eliminated. So now either it is this or it is this. So you can take a guess, start trying it. If it comes out, then good. If it doesn't come out, automatically the other option will be correct. You don't have to break your head for the second option. Don't sit and verify it. So instead of checking 3 options or 4 options, I have made your job easy. And now you can check only one option of these two and see if it works. Now, coincidentally, it happens that it works for basically option D. It basically works for option D from infinity to 1. 1 by lambda r 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So lambda is 900. And if you put n1 as 3, n2 as infinity, you will get it as 900. Is that clear? Okay, so that is a very interesting way of solving this same problem in a much simpler way. Some disk, radius, mass, angular position. The question is how much power is given at 2 seconds. So power is asked, and we know power, just like force into velocity, is torque into angular velocity. But I do not know the torque, and torque is nothing but moment of inertia into alpha. Okay, moment of inertia, it's a disk, right? So it is mr square by 2. I just do not know what is alpha and omega. So for that, use this function. What is that? This particular function. Theta is 5t square minus 8t. So omega, which is derivative of theta, rate of change of theta, will be 5 multiplied by 2t minus 8, derivative of time is 1. So 10t minus 8, that is omega. Alpha is d omega by dt. So that will be just 10 minus 0, which is basically 10. So we got alpha and omega. Alpha is basically 10. Omega is nothing but 10t minus 8. So that's it. That's about it. So we are just going to get over here. 10 by 2 is 5. So 5 mr square 10t minus 8. But the time value we have to put is 2 seconds. So this will be nothing but 20. 20 minus 8 is equal to 5 mr square. 20 minus 8 is basically 12. Correct? 12 5s are basically 60. So this will be 60 mr square. So option D should be the correct answer. Yes, it is correct. Is that okay? Everybody with me on this? Perfecto, perfecto, perfecto. Let's move to the next question coming up on your screen. Galvanometer has a coil resistance current, full scale deflection, maximum current has to be measured, resistance at the shunt should be how much? So direct question, guys. So galvanometer coil resistance is 30 ohm, but it can only allow 20 milliamperes. Okay. So if by chance you end up sending also how much ampere? 3 amperes. That 3 amperes will have to be bypassed, right? It has to be bypassed through a shunt. So this is the resistance of the shunt. Approximately it will be 3 amperes minus 20 milliamperes, which is approximately 3 amperes only, because this is a very small number. So we can clearly see that because they are in parallel, the voltage is going to be the same. The voltage drop is going to be the same. So voltage drop across this resistance will be 20 10 to the power negative 3 into 30 I into R. Across this it will be 3 into basically RS. So RS will be 2 into 3, which is basically 6, 0, 0, and this will make it 10 to the power minus 1, and this 3. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 1, which is basically 0.2 ohm, which is basically 0.2 ohm. Now, the resistance of the shunt which has to be added to the galvanometer will be 30 by X. So what will be X approximately? Just check this out. So this will be 1/5. So this is nothing but 1 by 5, but you want 30 by X. So if you put 30 over here, 35 is up. Yes, 150. So close to 149. Just check this out. Yes, yes, 149 is the closest number. 149 is the closest number. That's why you are going to add that up. Is that okay? Everyone? Let's move to the next question. Yes, let's move to the next question coming up on your screen. The refractive index of the material of the glass is root 3. The angle of the minimum deviation is equal to the angle of prism. What is the angle of the prism? Okay. Minimum deviation is the angle of the prism. So delta minimum is equal to A. Mu is given. There is a formula. Mu is equal to sine A plus delta minimum by 2 by sine A by 2. Mu is root 3. So A and delta minimum are the same. So it will become sine of A plus A by 2 by sine of A by 2. So root 3 will be 2A by 2 means A. So it will become just sine of A. Sine A by 2, I'll just bring it over here. Now I will do one thing. I'll use double angle formula. So I can just write it as sine of A by 2 multiplied by root 3 will be, think of this as 2 times of A by 2. So technically this will become sine of A by 2 cos A by 2. Correct? This is 2 sine theta cos theta. Sine A by 2 will cancel. So root 3, that 2 will come down, is cos A by 2. So the angle half will be nothing but 30 degrees. So this will be 2 into 30, which is 60 degrees. So option B is the correct answer. Definitely. Option B is the correct answer. Got it, everyone? Awesome. Moving on to the next question. Liquid is flowing with a valve. The reading of the pressure attached to the pipe is P1. To the pressure gauge, it falls P2. When the valve is opened, the speed of the water in the pipe is proportional to. See, what is happening is there is a pipe like this, and imagine there is a valve over here. Now, when that valve is closed, obviously the water will be inside, and there is a pressure gauge over here. That pressure gauge measures it as P1. Now, when you open that valve, what will happen is when you open that valve, all that water is going to flow out. All that water is going to flow out, and that reading which you get over here is basically P2 from that pressure gauge over here. So, why did that pressure change? Understand that. It's because if you consider the Bernoulli's equation terminologies, there were three terms P1, or basically static pressure, plus dynamic pressure, plus hydrostatic pressure. It's not that the height changed. It's not that the height changed, but it is this term which caused that change in this pressure. This term is what that caused the change in the pressure. Earlier, think of it like this. When the pressure reading was P1, the speed was 0. When the pressure reading is P2, then the speed is V, so that is half rho V square using Bernoulli's. So therefore, half rho V square is nothing but P1 minus P2. So V will be 2 by rho, okay, 2 by rho, P1 minus P2, the whole thing under the root. Is that right? So that is what V will be. So can you see velocity is proportional to root of P1 minus P2? It is directly proportional to root of P1 minus P2, which is B option. B for IIT Bombay. Everyone with me? Clear? Understood how to solve this particular question? All right. Let's move to the next one. A ball having some kinetic energy is thrown. What will be the energy at the highest point? This is direct question, guys. I mean, if you reach the highest point, the speed, if it is u over here at the start, angle is 60 degree. At the topmost point, the speed is only horizontal, and it will be u cos 60. So that's all. So kinetic energy at the top will be half m u cos 60 square. So half m u square, cos 60 is half, so half square. But half m u square is the initial energy, 1 by 2 square is 1 by 4. So Ke by 4 should be the answer. Yes, it is correct. Directly you can get it. Is that okay, everyone? Yeah. No need to find H max and anything. No need at all. Next question. There is a photograph of some landscape which has to be captured from a height of 18 kilometers. The size of the film is given. The area to be photographed is also given. What is the focal length of the lens? Okay, this is a very interesting question. Just I will try to draw it as much as possible. Actually, wait. Sorry. I want you to visualize this a little bit. So it is something like this. Try to visualize. Uh, Here you have that camera lens. So that lens is over here. So this is that lens. This particular thing on the top, as you can see over here, this thing which you see, that is basically the film. That is basically the film. This is the area which has to be photographed. This particular thing at the bottom that you see, this thing over here. Yes, this is that thing which has to be photographed. See if you are able to visualize this now. Are able to visualize this? Okay. Now everything is about similarity of triangles and the concept that because this area which has to be photographed is now the object which is at a far away point, this particular film is where the image will be formed approximately at the focal plane. So at the focal point, image will be formed at the focal point. So technically, this would be the focal length. This will be the focal length. And as per the given information, the height is 18 kilometers. So from the lens, this is 18 into 10 to the power 3 meters. Okay, from here till here. Is this absolutely understood? Is this absolutely understood, guys? Okay. Now, these triangles will be very much similar to each other. So, use that concept, similarity of triangles, the height and the width, and the height and the width. This is 18. This is 18. This is basically the focal length. This is 90 degree. This is 90 degree. This one, the side of that film is 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter. This one, how much will it be? If the area is 400 kilometer square, think about it. If it is 400 kilometer square, that will be side square. That will be side square. So what will this side be exactly? Think about it. Think about it. Okay, 400 kilometers is 400 into 10 to the power 3 meters. So that many meters square is your side square. So therefore, side will be root of this entire thing. So that is 4 into 10 to the power. Check this out, 400 kilometers, right? Yeah, 4 into 10 to the power 5 square. Is that right? 400 kilometers square. So you are going to take the root of it to just find the side. Is this absolutely clear? Is this absolutely clear, my dear students? Yes? Pakka? Okay, okay. Now, actually, over here, what you will get is the side length is nothing but 2 into is the root not getting cancelled somewhere 400 kilometers square. Oh, sorry guys, there was one small mistake I did. It was kilometer square. Sorry, my bad. So if it is 400 kilometers square only already given, that is basically your side square. So the side directly I can write it as 20 kilometer, right? So 20 kilometer I can directly write it as 20 into 10 to the power 3 meter. That will be easier. It was kilometer square, so it should have been 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 3 two times and all of that. I missed that 10 to the power 3 two times. So I'm putting it now. Okay, anyways, now once I get this side as 10 to the power 20 into 10 to the power 3, that is this length over here of this area. So that is 20 into 10 to the power 3. And all the sides should be in the same ratio. So that's why F divided by 18 should be, F divided by 18 should be 2 divided by 20 into 10 to the power 3. 20 into 10 to the power 3. So from this, you will get the focal length. 2 will cancel. 18 divided by 10 to the power 4. 18 divided by 10 to the power 4, which is 1.8 into, or rather, I can just say it is 18 into 10 to the power minus 4 meters. Yes, 18 into 10 to the power minus 4 meters. But actually, this 18, if it was in kilometers, this will be the answer also in kilometers. So technically speaking, you convert everything into meters. So technically, this is 18 into 10 to the power 3 meters. So this will be also 18 into 10 to the power 3 meters. So this will be also 18 into 10 to the power 3 meters. So then it will become just 18 into 10 to the power minus 1 meters. So this will then become 1.8 into 10 to the power negative 2 meters, which is 1.8 centimeters, which is option number A. Yes, that is the correct answer. So this 18, I should technically use it in meters, not in kilometers. So that's why I use into 10 to the power 3 factor and I substituted it over here. So the similarity of triangles concept and this diagram helps me understand it. Is that clear, everybody, till this particular point? Okay, very good. Yes, yes. Priyadarshini is smart. Okay, awesome. Priyadarshini, break, maybe not. There are few more questions which I'll be doing, and the other questions I'm going to share the complete PDF with you. Don't worry. Okay, because all the good questions I have kept it at the start only. So don't worry. We'll just do the good questions first. All right. Moving on. Time varying potential difference is applied between the plates of a parallel plate capacitor. The dielectric constant is 1, produces instantaneous displacement current. Then magnitude of the rate of the change of the voltage difference will be. Now, Q is equal to CV for a capacitor. The dielectric constant is 1, so it's like air. So voltage is asked, so it is Q by C. Now, if I want dV by dt, that will be 1 by C dq by dt. Now, this is basically your conduction current, dq by dt. But we all know that the conduction current is also the displacement current. We have seen this in Maxwell's equation, electromagnetic waves. So directly we can substitute all the things. So 1 by 2.5, what is it? Farad only directly. And displacement current, how much is it? 0.25. So this is basically 0.25 milli. So 10 to the power minus 3. So what will this become? So 2.5, 2.5 will cancel. So when you make it 2.5, this will become 10 to the power minus 1 and this will remain as it is. So this will become 10 to the power minus 4 volt per second. 10 to the power minus 4 volts per second. That is the answer. Okay, so I think they have asked the answer in some other format, but otherwise this would be the answer. Is that okay, everybody, with me? Yep. Great. Shall we go ahead? Shall we go ahead? Okay, Logesh using mom's account, no problems. Moving on to the next question on your screen. Satellite of certain mass is revolving around the Earth in a circular orbit at a height of 3r from the surface. The angular momentum of the satellite is how much? Now, angular momentum is mvr. Directly you can do this. Velocity of the satellite is root of gm divided by the radius. The height is, I think, 3r. So if the height is 3r, the radius will be basically 4r and into r. So again 4r over here. Again 4r over here. The question is, what is the value of x over there? Anyways, so what we can do is, this will be nothing but small m. Then you have root gm, and what we can do is we can just write this as inside the root, this as 4 square and this as r square. So what happens? One of the 4 will cancel, one of the r will also cancel. So you will be left with m root gmr and 4 times. So that's it. You will have 4 as the answer. The x value will be basically then, I think the answer given over here is wrong, but yeah, this should be basically 4 times. Okay. So unless this height was something else, the height was, if I'm not wrong, 3r. I've assumed the height as 3r. So the radius will be 3r plus r. 3r plus r. That's what it is. Okay. Unless something else, somebody is saying, sir, it was in the denominator. Okay. If it was in the denominator, then to again, whole thing will have to do it again only. Whole thing will have to do it again if there was a divide by. So then if the height is r by 3, then the radius will be r plus r by 3, which is 4r by 3. So angular momentum, which is mvr, will be mass into velocity, which is root of gm divided by radius, which is 4r by 3, into that radius. This is the radius actually. This is radius. So that radius is again 4r by 3. So this will become m outside root of gm by 4r and 3 on the top. When you bring it inside, it will just become 4 square r square by 3 square. 3, 4 and r will cancel. So you will be left with m gm. One of the r will be left out. 4 will also be left out and 3 will also be left out. So 4 by 3. So if I think that number 4 is there somewhere, the denominator will be 3. Is that okay? That's how you solve the question. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that number 4 was also missing over here. That number 4 is also missing. Then the value of x will be basically 3. Is that okay? Fair enough. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Moving on to the next question on your screen. In the steady state, the charge on the capacitor shown in the circuit below is how much in steady state? Okay. Now, in this particular question, this is 10 ohms, this is 15 ohms. No current will go through the capacitor. So find that charge. I just need how much voltage will be there. Now, see, because there is no current over here, and you can just think of it like two resistors. Okay, to find the voltage across any such resistor in multiple series, what you can do is the voltage across any such, let's say this is R1, this is R2, and so on and so forth. Voltage across a resistor R1 is, take the total voltage upon the total resistance and then multiply this entire thing with only that resistance. That will be very, very easy. So the voltage across 10 ohm, that which you have to find out, this particular voltage will be the total voltage, which is 5, upon total resistance, which is 10 plus 15, into that resistance where you want to find the voltage. So this will become 5 by 25 into 10. 5 goes with 25 5 times. 10 by 5 is 2. So 2 volts. So now the question is on the charge. So charge is CV. Capacitance is 8 micro. Voltage is basically 2. So it will be 16 micro coulomb. So the answer will be basically 16 micro coulomb. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone? Awesome. So 16 micro coulomb should be the answer. Great. Moving on to the next question on your screen. There is some bubble which is at some depth below the surface of a liquid. The pressure inside the bubble is more than the atmospheric pressure by this much amount. Or yeah, that is given. The surface tension is how much? Okay. So let's start drawing. This is the free surface. You go below and then there is a bubble over here. So atmospheric pressure is P naught. At this particular point, it will be P naught plus rho GH. Inside, the pressure will be outside pressure, which is P naught plus rho GH plus, because it's a bubble in water, it will be 2T divided by R. So as you can see over here, apart from atmospheric pressure, this much part is that amount which is given, which is to be 2100 Newton per meter square. So use that. 2100 is equal to rho GH plus 2T by R. From this, you can get everything. Density of the liquid, I think it is given 1000. G is 10. Height, how much depth below? 20 centimeter. That means it is 0.2 is added to 2 into T divided by radius. Radius of the bubble is 0.1 centimeter, which is 10 to the power minus 3 meters. Okay. So this is 2100. Solving this, you are going to get the value of the surface tension. Solving this, you are going to get the value of the surface tension. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Is that absolutely clear? Is V is root? I think you were asking for the previous question. By the way, this answer is 0.05. So this answer is basically 0.05. So if you're talking about the gravity wala question, yes, for the gravity question, remember the velocity of any satellite in a circular orbit is given by root gm by radius. Root gm by radius. Okay, Logesh? Fair enough. All right. Moving on to the next question. A thin plano-convex lens made of glass refractive index is put inside a liquid. Plane side of the lens is silver coated. For complete reflection, the lens is immersed in a liquid, behaves like a concave mirror of certain focal length. The radius of curvature is how much? Okay, let's try to understand. So there is a plano-convex lens. Okay, the refractive index is 1.5. Radius of curvature not given. The plane side is silvered. The moment you silver this, whatever is there in the front will reflect behind also. So it will be converted into, from a plano convex lens which is silvered, it will then convert itself into a normal biconvex lens. Biconvex lens. Okay. Because mirror reflects whatever is in the front, so it will behave like that. Now that entire thing is immersed in a liquid also. Oh, so that entire thing is immersed inside a liquid. Okay, and the liquid refractive index is basically 1.2. So liquid refractive index is 1.2. Now liquid is still less refractive than the lens itself. It's okay. What is happening is, now if you send in parallel rays, it will still meet somewhere. It will still meet somewhere. But remember, I had opened this up. Remember, this diagram, I had opened it like this. So technically, if I had done this to this particular diagram, apparently it behaves as if it's a concave mirror, because if I had opened this like this, the rays are coming from here. So if I close it back, the rays will come from that side only, and the rays will meet over here. The rays will apparently meet over here. The concave mirror's focal length is 0.2 meters, the concave mirror. So this is given to be 0.2 meter, or basically 20 centimeter. Okay, I hope this is absolutely clear. I have explained the question now. Concave mirror, how it is behaving. Remember, this diagram was after opening it up. After you open it up both ways. So if you fold it back, obviously these two rays which are coming from here now will come from this side, and it will behave like a concave mirror. Okay. So basically, the focal length of this convex lens is 20 centimeter. So let's use our lens formula. 1 by f is refractive index of the lens by refractive index of the medium. Here you have 1 by r minus 1 by r 2 times, because sign convention and radius are same. I will put the same values. So this is nothing but 20. Refractive index of the lens is 1.5. This is 1.2. This is minus 1. This will become 2 times 1 by r. So this will be 15 by 12. 15 by 12 divided by 3 will become 5. This will become 4. So 5 by 4 minus 1 is just going to be 1 by 4 into 2 by r is 1 by 20. This will go 2 times, 2 will go. So r will become 10 centimeters. So 10 centimeters is basically 0.1 meter. So 0.1 meter, which is option number A. Which is option number A. Is that clear? So it's a beautiful question on how you manipulate it. How you manipulate this particular question, that easy it will be for you to get the answer. Okay, perfecto, perfecto. Great. So let's go to the next question, guys, coming up on your screen, and here it is. Satellite is launched into a circular orbit of radius r, and second satellite 1.03 r. Time period of the second satellite is larger than approximately how much? Okay. Now we all know the square of the time period is directly proportional to the cube of the radius. So t square is some constant into r cube, or rather t is some another constant, new constant, r raised to 3 by 2. Why I did this? Because now I can use the concept of errors. Delta t by t, constant does not matter, 3 by 2 delta r by r, that is the concept of errors. So 3 by 2, as you can see, change in the radius is 1.03 minus 1 times of r upon r. So that will give me 3 into 0.03 divided by 2. RR will cancel. But if I want it in percentage, you just multiply by 100, because I think answers are in percentages. So decimal places will shift. 2 times 3 threes are 9, 9 by 2, which is basically 4.5%. Everything is in percentage. So 4.5%, that is option number B. Yes, that is basically option number B. Clear? Excellent, excellent. Very good. Awesomeness, guys. Sir, I got this question correctly. I saw the similar question previous shift. That's why I was able to solve it. Great. Yeah, I think there were a lot of questions on focal length and combination of lenses. Many times they were asked. Correct. So moving on to the next question. There is a cylinder. Rolls, inclination, top of the plane, linear acceleration of the cylinder will be. This was direct only. There is nothing great in it. So the acceleration of that cylinder is asked. If this theta is given, direct formula is there. Acceleration is g sine theta divided by 1 plus I divided by mr square. So just use this. G theta. Theta is how much? 30 degree. No, 45 degree. My bad. Theta is 45 degree. So sine 45 will be 1 by root 2. 1 plus, what is it? Solid cylinder. Moment of inertia will be mr square by 2 by mr square. Mr square will cancel. So g by root 2. 1 plus half will be 3 by 2. Goes on the top. So g by root 2, 2 on the top, 3 below. So it will be g root 2 whole thing divided by 3. G root 2 whole thing divided by 3 is option number C. Yes, C option is the correct option. Yeah, directly this formula you can use, or else you have to use Newton's law. Then you have to go to torque equation. Unnecessarily, it will be lengthy. So moving on to the next one. There is a SHM and the time period is 2 seconds, amplitude is 1 centimeter. If D and D are the total distances and displacement, then in 12.5 seconds, what is the ratio of distance is to displacement? Okay, let's understand this question. There is a SHM whose amplitude is 1 centimeter. So this is 1 centimeter. This is 1 centimeter. This is mean position at the exact in between. Now, when you consider this 12.5 seconds, see the time period is 2 seconds. So it will be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 0.5. Correct? Which is 6 oscillations plus 0.5 seconds. Now 0.5 seconds, what you can think of it as? See, these are 2 seconds. 0.5 is actually 1/4 of 1/4 of 2 seconds, which means there are 6 oscillations which are complete, and then there is 1/4 oscillation which is happening. See, when the oscillation is complete, you are back to the same place, So this will bring you back to the same place. This will definitely bring you back to the same place. But what will this do? If you are at mean, it will bring you to extreme. If you are at extreme, it will bring you to mean. That is 1/4. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. That's how it is. So it will take you from mean to extreme position. That means it is basically the amplitude. It is basically the amplitude. From this, easily you can find the displacement. Displacement is basically the amplitude. which is basically 1 centimeter. That is very direct. So 6 oscillations will bring you back same place. 1/4 oscillation will just bring you here. So final to initial is 1 centimeter. Now, when you talk about the distance, which is capital D, 6 oscillations are there. 6 oscillations, each oscillation 1, 1, 1, 1. So you will travel 4 centimeters in each oscillation. And then there is 1/4 oscillation, that is 1 centimeter. That is for your 1/4 oscillation. 6 fours are 24 plus 1 is 25 centimeter. So D is 25, small d is 1. So 25:1, which is option number D. Yes, that is the correct. Yeah. MS dashing, if you got 107 on the borderline, start preparing for the second attempt properly now. Yeah, you need to prepare very, very properly for the second attempt. F is not equal to mg sine 45 Priya because there is friction also, right? So F is mg sine theta is not ma. Mg sine theta is not ma. It will be mg sine theta minus F is equal to ma, and torque equation will be R into F is equal to I alpha. I will be mr square by 2. Alpha will be A by R. Solving that, you get the equation. So that's why I gave you the direct formula. It will be easier. You can avoid multiple steps and directly you can mark the answer. Friction is also there. So that's why mg sine minus F will be ma. Okay, clear Priya? Shall we go ahead? Pakka, let me know guys quickly in the chat box. Okay, great. Moving on to the next question. The temperature of 1 mole of an ideal monoatomic gas is increased by 50 degrees Celsius at constant pressure. The total heat added and change are this much and this much. What's the ratio? What kind of process is it given? Constant pressure, isobaric. So total heat, that means Q, will be NCP delta T. Change in internal energy, that means delta U, will be NCV delta T. This Q, they have assumed it as E1. This they have assumed it as E2. So when they ask you the ratio of E1 by E2, basically NCP delta T by NCV delta T. N and delta T will cancel, so it will be Cp by Cv, which means gamma. Gamma, what kind of a gas is it? Monoatomic. Monoatomic means it will be 5 by 3. That's it. So answer should be 5 by 3. So basically, if you write it as something by 9, 3 3s are 9, 5 3s are 15. So it is the same thing, 15 by 9. So X will be basically 15 in the answer. This question on banking of roads. Banking of roads. So direct formula is there. If you know the formula, it is very easy. Else you will struggle. See, what's the formula? The formula is the maximum speed is given by root Rg mu plus tan theta upon 1 minus mu tan theta. Banking of roads, maximum speed, and they are asking what is mu. So square both sides and bring Rg below. So it will become Vmax square. The moment you do that, bring Rg below is mu plus tan theta, or don't even have to bring Rg below, just leave it over there. It's okay. So Rg into mu plus tan theta, the whole thing divided by 1 minus mu tan theta. Now cross multiply. So it will become Vmax square minus mu tan theta Vmax square is equal to Rg mu plus Rg tan theta. Now bring the terms which include mu to the same side. So take it on the other side. So it will become Vmax square minus Rg tan theta is equal to mu is common. So Rg plus, this will be plus mu tan, sorry, not mu tan, mu is common. So Vmax square tan theta. So what will be mu then? Mu will be this, which is Vmax square minus Rg tan theta, whole thing divided by this whole thing, which is Rg plus Vmax square tan theta. That's it. That is the answer. So V naught square minus Rg tan theta. Okay. and Rg plus Vmax plus. So this B option should be correct. Yes, B option is the correct answer. Is that okay? Perfect. So it's just manipulating, just rearranging the terms. That's all. Just have to rearrange the terms. Let's do this. Young's double slit experiment with polarization. These two polarizers are themselves perpendicular, and then there is another polarizer after the slits, and then you are getting an interference. So the rays from this are going to meet somewhere with some path difference of lambda by 3. Very nice question using Malu's law. So I'll tell you what. Let's assume that the intensity of incident light is I naught. Because they are unpolarized. It's unpolarized. This light will become polarized like this. This light might become polarized like this. Because unpolarized becomes polarized, so it will become I naught by 2. This will also become I naught by 2. Now, after they pass through the slits, they are again entering another polarizer. So that light will again get polarized in the same plane as this polarizer. I think it is at 45 degrees. Yes, it is at 45 degrees. So 45 degrees with respect to this, 45 degrees with respect to this. So the new intensity will be I naught by 2 cos square 45. Same thing for this also. Cos square 45 is 1 by root 2 whole square. So it will become I naught by 4. So now you have a new problem where you have two sources with intensity I naught by 4, I naught by 4, and the rays are meeting somewhere with a path difference of lambda by 3. So what will be the phase difference? Lambda by 3, whole thing multiplied by 2 pi divided by lambda. So it will be 2 pi by 3. So that's the phase difference. So if I want to find what is the intensity here, the formula is there already. It is I1, which is I naught by 4, plus next I2, which is again I naught by 4, plus 2 times I1, I2, whole thing under the root, cos delta phi, or the phase difference, which is 2 pi by 3. This formula is there, just like amplitude addition formula. This is intensity addition formula. I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1, I2 cos delta phi. So this will become I naught by 4 plus I naught by 4 plus, this will become 2 times I naught by 4 only. Cos 120 is negative half. Great. Half and 2 will cancel. So this will become minus I naught by 4. So this will be just left with I naught by 4. So that is nothing but option number A. Option number A. Is that clear? Very nice question, guys. This is very nice question, of course. All right. Moving on to the next question. There are two diagrams given, and earlier the charges were at the corners. Now they have been brought to the centers. Question is, what is the difference of the potential energy? Okay, I'll tell you what. In general, derive a formula for 4 charges when they are kept on the sides. That will be much useful over here. So let's say the side length is L, charges are Q. The total potential energy will be, since there will be 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs formed, 4 into K, Q into Q divided by side length, which is L. Those are 4 terms, plus 2 additional terms for the diagonals. 2 into K, Q into Q divided by diagonal is L root 2. So you will get this as K Q square by L, 4 plus 2 by root 2, which is nothing but root 2 only. So K Q square by L, 4 plus root. That is the general formula with sides, length L and charge is Q. So what happens here? Earlier, I think, what have they asked? Change in the potential energy. Okay. Side length is A. Yes. Earlier, the side length is A. Later on, what happens? Observe carefully. Observe carefully. It becomes a new square itself like this, where the new side length where the new side length, check this out. If this is going to be a by 2, this is going to be a by 2. How much will this side length be? A by 2 square plus a by 2 square using Pythagoras. So it will be a by 2 outside or root 2. So it will be a by root 2. So that is the new side length. Oh, so now I can say initial potential energy using this formula is k q square by length. Length is a, 4 plus root 2. Final potential energy kq square 4 plus root 2, but that length now will be a by root 2. Now comes the last part where you have to find the difference. So the difference is basically these two's subtraction. Got it? These two you subtract, that's all. I hope this is absolutely clear. Okay, so you just need to subtract these two now from this and you will get the answer. I think the answer comes out to be option number C. Okay, so the same thing as I have done over here. 4 plus 2 root 2, sorry, 4 plus root 2, 2 times you have to take it and then subtract it. Great, it's not that difficult, it's just simple calculative. Okay, cool. Shall we go ahead to the next one? Shall we go ahead to the next one, my dear warriors? Yep. Okay. What is this? The magnitude of the heat exchange by the system for a given cyclic process is shown. What is the heat exchange? Well, because it's a cyclic process, we know that this heat will be the work which will be the area which is enclosed. In this case, area of the circle which is pi into r square. That's all. So what's the radius over here? What's the radius? So if this is 200, this particular radius will be 100. Yeah, is that right? The radius will be just basically 100. Is that right, my dear students? Okay, because 200 to 400, the diameter will be 200. So the radius will be 100. So just put r over here and you will get the answer. So what is it? The magnitude of the heat exchange in the process as shown in the figure will be pi into basically 100 square, and the 100 square that will make you but there is a small problem here. This is in cc, this is in kilopascal. So will that make a difference, you might ask? Well, what happens is when you multiply to find the area, okay, this is in centimeter cube, this is in kilopascal. Kilo and cc, kilo and cc. Kilo is basically 10 to the power 3. Centimeter cube is 10 to the power minus 6. So both of them multiplied together will give me 10 to the power minus 3. So when I actually find the units in joules, this will be pi into 10 to the power 4 into 10 to the power minus 3. So this will be pi multiplied by 10, but that will be in joules. So hence the answer will be 10 pi. Hence the answer will be 10 pi. Is that clear, everyone? Yes. Classes for CBSE will resume very soon. Okay, don't worry about it. All right. Next question. Okay, so this is the last question which we'll be doing. Rest questions I'll be giving it to you as PDF. Don't worry about it. Yeah, all the questions will be there so that you can start solving and having a look at it. In the photoelectric effect, the stopping potential versus frequency graph is plotted. Okay, V naught versus this is linear, slope is this much, H is constant related to the slope, the value of the charge is not required to determine H, work function can be estimated, and there are some options given over here. Okay, and then there are some options given over here. So let's try to see. First of all, in photoelectric effect, if you draw the graph of stopping potential, this is stopping potential versus frequency, what happens is it looks something like this and it intersects over here. Okay, something like this. Yeah, And for different materials, it will be like this. Okay. The slope, try to recollect, the slope will be h by e, and where it intersects is nothing but phi by e and all of that. Phi by e and all of that. Okay. So all these things, these are standard curves. So this graph is a linear graph. Definitely, it is a linear graph. Okay. The slope is phi naught by h. That is 100% wrong. It is h by e, Planck's constant by charge. H constant is related to the slope. Yes, the constant is related to the slope. Definitely, it is correct. The value of the charge is not required to determine h using the graph. Obviously, with the slope and with the charge only I can find h. Without the charge, I can't find. It says it is not required. So this is wrong. This is definitely wrong. The work function can be found out without h. Yes. In this graph, if I know this intercept and the charge, I can find this work function. So I can find this out without even knowing the value of h. So A, C, and E. So A, C, and E. Yes, that is the correct answer. Perfect. Is that okay? So these were some of the questions, guys, which we have solved. The rest of the questions, obviously, I will do one thing. I'll make a proper PDF once the final key is out, and with the bonus, with everything, so that you will have complete set of question papers from the January attempt. Okay, you don't have to look anywhere. A complete set of all the questions, not just 100, will collect it once the final key is out, and then I will update the description box. Okay, take care. Thank you so much. Thank you for smashing the like button. Bye bye. Take care.